what's up, fam? About finished with all my vacation stuff. I am back to my normal setup, and my regular schedule will continue as, I guess as normal and regular, either today or tomorrow. Depends. I'm gonna put out some videos definitely over the next couple days. There's, getting all that back stuff, and there's a couple of videos I want to do, which one of them I'm gonna mention in this, and you guys will see what I mean. But expect more videos to come over the next few days, so hopefully I can make you guys not forget that I exist. Anyway, with the chapter, we got chapter 1500 Years Quest. We got it nicely on Christmas. Made me very happy. But the chapter itself revealed a lot, as well as it opened up something that I'm going to say screw it now, and I'm going to do that I was thinking about doing a video of because people are annoying the crap out of me. Not you guys, don't worry, I don't think it's anyone in my subscriber base, people online, but I'll mention that when I get to it. Should be mentioned at near the end of the chapter. But at the start of the chapter, we got Toka confronting Jalal, which I thought was really interesting, and unfortunately, Jalal just he keeps getting way out of way out of his league comfort zone and facing down people who are way too much for him. But we see Toka's plan with the Fairy Tale Guild. She doesn't like that there's so much magic in one place. I'm guessing, obviously, though, you think, like, why wouldn't she go for something like Albrecht when it was up? Obviously, she couldn't mess with Zareth. And there were too many big leagues over there that probably she couldn't take by herself, and we don't know what her crew is like yet. She probably has her own big shots, but I doubt, like, she has anything comparable to, like, Zareth plus August and Eileen and, Larkade in there a little bit. But just the amount of power and hacks that Albrecht had, she probably has something comparable, but maybe not the exact same. But I really liked this panel. This is probably my favorite panel out of the chapter, just because it looked really weird. I like that weird fading in, and it's like it looks like something from like crazy, like something you'd seen like a weird space panel. I There's a series Jujutsu Kaisen. There's a guy who has a really weird ability that is like area. It looks like the vast deepness of space, and that's just kind of what it made me think of this. Something really strange and intriguing like that. I really liked it. But she's like draining all Jalal's magic, talking about how she just wants to make sure that magic doesn't get too strong in areas, and with that, like she doesn't want to turn dark and black like Zareth, and she wants to turn the world white, turn it to nothingness, which curious to know more about white magic and how that's going to be handled. But we see her have kind of like an issue with her inner self. Like there's two of her in one body. There's the normal one that joined the guild, and then there's this evil one that is the one that's like draining Jalal and stuff. So we'll probably figure out more about her later and where exactly her curse comes from. I'm actually wondering if, because we know Ankh Salam is the god of life and death, and we only saw his death curse, maybe he has a life curse or something instead of like the curse of contradiction. It has a second one that may do something equally as crazy. I don't know. We'll figure that out probably within the next couple chapters. That'll be cool. But while she was vulnerable, Gadgil comes in, takes her down, knocks her out, and cuffs her up. Panther Lily, Juvie, and Levy come in. I thought this was a little bit of a future smug face as Gadget's gonna be like, I was fucking right. This bitch, I got her. But anyway, get back to the fight. Kiri and Urza. Actually, Kiri breaking Urza's sword I thought was really impressive. Something that Deuce Senma can even do. I think people are ignoring that with the Dragon Eaters. I'll talk about them in a second, like them as a whole, but this part I thought was really cool. I really liked the sick Jedi Master Urza. So when I was talking about the spoilers, I thought it was gonna have something to do with like god or goddess slang magic because it has that like black and then like layer colored energy, kind of like how God Slayer energy works and the way that it's always designed. I guess not. I guess it's just dragon slaying magic on the sword. So I'm wondering why it's that color. But I did like that it was it's called Belsarion, the dragon slaying sword. And this should technically make Urza a 4th generation dragon slayer. By the way that we know how 4th gen works right now, and involving inanimate objects enchanted with it, but not being kind of like fused with their body. Obviously, we had the ones in the Dragon Crime movie, which is canon, to really base that off of. So, but we don't really know much about 4th gen, so it's a little bit rough to go at. We got back at Mad Mole confronting Natsu again, and this is one of the parts that I really want to talk about after I, go over the events that happened. Natsu and Mad Mole, clash up. His durability is still too much for his normal attacks. It does a lot of damage on his arm when they clash fists, but Natsu instead busts out a new attack. He just applies like super heat on it. I thought it was gonna be his Savage Dragon Fire, just based on the clash of fists, like it was again, like when he went against Zaref. Guess not. New attack, Fire Dragon King's Purgatory, which is this huge blaze attack. Fried up Madmole, put him down, and had her actually a really cool explosion, and then it had like this big fiery ball explosion with a ring around it, which is weird because I didn't think anything about like any fire attacks. I just look at it and I see Saturn. But anyway, so seemingly taken down one of the Draenors. Seemingly, maybe not. Maybe he'll get up and use Dragon Force or something. We'll figure that out. But that's where I wanted to kind of get away from the chapter itself and talk about something that's really been bugging the crap out of me. And I'm guessing you guys have seen it too if you've been on any forums or I've seen it on a couple areas of people just. It seems like they just want to complain without thinking at all about the contents of what's going on. And the same people who are like, "Oh my God, how are these Dragon Eater guys somehow being a threat to them?" Blah blah blah. And then the second that they start beating the Dragon Eaters, start turning things around, they're like, "How are the Dragon Eaters losing already?" Blah blah. It's people. I think that some people just are never satisfied and they just want to complain, and it's too awkward for them to really just think about what's happening because for one, we don't know where these three Dragon Eaters rank in their guild at all. We have no idea where they rank. They came out of nowhere. They're a brand new shiny enemy that aren't like the Dragon Gods or okay, it was set up to fight them, but the Dragon Eaters kind of came out of nowhere. We don't know anything about the contents of their guild, the other people. We don't even know if they could be the scrubs of their guild for all we know. We have absolutely no idea. But on top of that, all of them have done something impressive. We have Mad Mole tanking, like he's just completely taking no damage from a demolition fist. Kiria having some pretty good hypnosis and snapping Urza's fire pants Crimson Cherry Blossom sword. That's something that Senma couldn't do. Scarion completely just shrugging off. Demon Slayer Zeroth sword, as well as clearly would have been able to take out Gray if that attack landed. But it's goofy to assume that they it was really goofy to assume that they somehow are getting casually ran through. Like Urza's using what looks to be her strongest thing yet. Same with Natsu is outside of his Savage Dragon Fire, which kind of leads up to the next part I was talking about. Like people are saying like Natsu beat Zareth and Acnologia, so these guys should be no problem to them. But I don't think anyone that actually pays attention to the manga thinks that Natsu is casually as powerful as he was against either of those two. Because one, there's a whole mess of variables in the Acnologia fight. Obviously, that was not Natsu by himself. You had the seven different Dragon Slayers fusing their power up with him to give him like a huge 7-part Unison Ray Dragon Force buff that is obviously like the strongest we've ever seen him. But also, Acnologia is being drastically weakened by motion sickness, and the fact that Ignil took his arm had a huge play in that as well. Meanwhile, with Zareth, his Savage Dragon Fire was pretty much a limit break for Natsu. It was pretty much going far beyond what his body was capable of. Obviously, we saw the heat from the fire completely burning chunks out of his arm, and it was still smoldering after the fight. So obviously, that was him just having like going far beyond what he should be able to do, but what he's capable of, just not what he should be yet right now. It's not like he could do that casually. Even if he could do that, like, oh, I can use this right now in this fight if I have to. There's no way he'd be able just to be like, oh yeah, I'll just use that and beat this guy. They'd be like, afterwards your arm is gonna be fucked. Like, we don't know how long it took to fully heal. We don't know if Wendy can actually fully heal that herself. We don't know exactly how long that damage is gonna last. So I don't know why. I have no idea why people are complaining about that. I'm going to do a full video on that trying to explain that, just so if anybody wants to be like, how are any of these guys being a threat again? Look who they've beaten. I'll give you guys the video, and then you guys will be able to link it as like somebody like having to hold their hand and say, hey, dummy, he didn't beat them by himself. You can't compare current Natsu as of right now to either version that beat Zeref or Eknoliga. So, tiny little rant there about that. Some people have been just really bugging me with that lately. But anyway, I really like the chapter. I don't think a lot of people are paying any form of attention towards what the Dragon Eaters have done, even though only one of them is potentially down. The other two are still up, and we don't even know how many Dragon Eaters there fully are and where these guys even rank among them. But, people just want to complain. Anyway, tell me in the comments what you think about this chapter. Like the video, subscribe, check out my other videos if you enjoy this kind of content. I'm nearing 600 subs, which is pretty nice. I'm waiting for that magic 777 number to put out a specific special video. And otherwise, I appreciate everyone who's already subscribed. Otherwise, thank you very much for listening.